About it. Your co-host is William Burties, and I think you heard in the beginning is our music is the to President Clinton James. K-Rap, that's his official presidential music when he walks down the aisle.
Yes. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Give me my theme music, right? All right, we already starting off today. We're going to introduce our co-host, Mr. Clinton President James.
Yes, this is Clinton James, your in-store president of the California Association of Real Estate Brokers. Yes, and also your local broker here in San Diego. I want to say welcome to Tuesday. We guys always say we take Taco Tuesday. So let's talk about it Tuesday, and I always tell you all where you can find me on the corner working on myself, lean and inspiring under drive. Let's go.
See, when you do that, you become president.
All right. It's easy. It's easy.
And our co-host, Mr. Dion Westbrook.
Gentlemen, I'm happy to be back. I also want to say congratulations to my brother over here. Becoming the new president. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Great thing. Looking forward to working with you. Here with the local San Diego chapter. Just doing some great things.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
In store, along the road, and you're there.
Yeah, we start from the bottom. Now we're here. You know what I'm saying?
We'll work begins, like you said.
That's right.
Can I get a discount on my property taxes since you got some?
Hey, that's above my figure right there.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about home buying in 2026. I can't believe 2025 was almost over with.
Yeah, man, it's going by fast.
And I feel like it should be like 22 or something like that. But if 2025 was the year you bought your home, that's okay. 2026 is coming, and
that's
it's
right.
your time. And for those who already own a home, they're looking at doing things in the future with your property. We hope to give you some advice on that too. We're going to start off the show today. Before we even came to the show, we already had questions.
That's right.
and so we want to address those questions today. The first question is a family member and a senior citizen family member got into a reverse mortgage, and apparently they were paying a very low mortgage payment and found themselves in a reverse mortgage, and now their family members, their grandkids, and so on, want to see what they can do to get ownership back of the property. So I'm asking Dion, is that possible? Can someone who's got into a reverse mortgage, can they somehow get back to the point where they can get out of that reverse mortgage?
Yes. So in this situation, it was what I'm hearing was set up where the grandmother was paying a very small mortgage payment, and someone unfortunately talked her into doing a reverse mortgage. Now, doing a reverse mortgage is not a bad thing. So we need to make sure I'm clear on that. But if you understand what it is, and also you're someone who has some family members that you plan on leaving a property to, you can get involved in the situation if you're going to do one.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, this person wasn't taught to get their children or whatever they place involved in the situation, so everybody can understand what's going on. Also, just understand what they were doing.
Right.
So you definitely want to make sure everything about doing reverse mortgage, get your family involved.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
It's not the worst thing. The worst type of world. Once you know what it is and what's going to happen in the future, then it's okay to do. But if you're not willing to take the risk of what happens. We do that well.
Right.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically, what the reverse mortgage is a program where someone of age, they're everybody thought it was 60. Now they're actually you can actually 55.
Right.
Depending on which
55
type of equity that you have a substantial amount of equity, probably like 70% now.
Right.
When the rates were in the twos, first you could have like 30-40% equity.
Right.
Depending on what age you are, but now higher, you're gonna be like 60-70%.
Right.
Depending on what age you have. And so the way the program is you set yourself up where you don't have to make monthly payments at all.
Right.
But more is going to be increasing the amount of interest that you should be paying based on whatever rate that you agree upon. You actually have a rate, a monthly payment attached to it, but you don't have to pay it.
Right.
And so whatever the amount of interest is, based on the rate that you have, your mortgage is going to go up the amount each month.
Right.
So depending on your loan amount, depending on the situation, you can get up pretty quickly. Depending on situation. So you have to understand, like, hey, if I'm doing a reverse mortgage, my balance is going to be going up. I tell people, listen, it's not the worst loan in the world, depending on what you're going to do.
Right.
You no longer have to make that mortgage payment, whatever you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Are you setting yourself up? Are you putting it into a bank account? Are you investing?
Right.
Are you doing something with it to grow the price? Like we're doing with that. Again, if you understand how it works, you can do this when you're no longer making a payment.
Right.
Are we getting out? Right. So when you do a first, I'll do that. It's just going to take by who's that.
Right.
You're giving several different options to set yourself up for success.
Right.
For someone to be able to take over the property.
Right.
Once the last person passed away. Right.
Exactly.
So you get an opportunity for a family member. Now, first of all, let me backtrack. You want to set up beneficiaries. So what you do is like you need to have several beneficiaries if you can in place. So that way they'll go down the line and you make a decision on what to do with the property.
Right.
Once the last person passes away. So they'll be given an option to either they can sell the property if they want to. So they'll look at your situation. If there's house is underwater, meaning we don't have any equity in it, and nobody in the family wants to use the property or anything like that. That's a situation where you may let it go. Let the bank take it. House that has equity.
Right.
Somebody might say, hey, we want to sell this property. So as much equity as we can out of it, and then disperse it to the family, do whatever we do.
Right.
So that's another option they'll be given. Another option they'll be given is you can actually, if someone wants to actually take over the property, you can refinance it into their. So if somebody has, they can qualify to refinance the house into the name based on wherever the current loan amount is, and that's going to go up over time. So then you look at the loan amount is. And look at the value. They look at the person who's trying to refinance their income, their credit, the assets, things like that. So they can qualify to take up their loan. So if that person can, then they will a certain period of time. I think it's like maybe from like a year or something. They give me that.
Right.
I know it's changed. It used to be like 4 6 I think it might be a little bit more time to make a decision. They'll be given an opportunity to refinance the house.
Right.
So that's what they would do in that situation.
Right. They do that now before the.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they can do a lot of grandmothers for our situation. She's still probably they can refinance it with her own home if they want to. You know what I mean? She doesn't have to make a substantial amount of income. She has like fixed income, like Social Security, something like that. They use that and when they're along with their income, and they can just refinance it. She could put them on title and on a new loan, and bam, they get out of it. So it's very easy. They don't have to spend $200,000 to pay it. Like that, they can just refinance where it's at right now.
What happens if they don't do it? If the person passes away, don't do that. What happens?
So that's when we go back to what I was saying before. Make sure that beneficiary is set in place to make a decision what they would do.
Right, pretty much.
Nobody set place. That's when.
And that's where and I'll kind of talk about it a little bit to that too. So when anybody's going to mortgages, please, I have to say, definitely get a trust. Right. If you're exploring reverse mortgages, try to talk to an attorney, an estate planning attorney, and you will set up a trust. Why that trust is set in place is to make sure that anything happens at all life, that there are stipulations in place that would make sure that the asset is being distributed. Right. You can put as many criteria in the trust as possible. That will help you determine how that asset is distributed, how that asset is treated after, or even if you are incapacitated, right? One of the things that people always look at is that is there's two types of trust, irrevocable trust, right? You always want to try to be in a irrevocable trust, but what happens if anything should happen? Say, I'm not saying that a reverse mortgage is scam. It's not, right? But if, for instance, there's a threat of say, okay, well, yeah, we could be someone is scamming the person into a reverse mortgage, the trust actually kicks in because now in there in the irrevocable trust, everybody who's in the trust has to be acknowledge that they are going to actually do whatever be putting a lien on the property, right? Because you can't refinance a trust. You have to take it out of the trust and then put it back in. And it's this quick thing that the bank does when they do reverse mortgages. So it alerts everybody who's involved in the trust, all the hires, all the trustees in that trust actually have to be involved in making sure that number one, if you're taking it out of the trust, that actually refinance and put a lien on it like a reverse mortgage, they have to be involved in what's going on too. So so putting in the trust is very important. If you're 55 plus, I would have assets. Yes, definitely. I would say hands down, start talking to the estate plan attorney. And definitely, we have a lot of good people that on hand in our business who we can refer you to, right? Who can actually help you with setting up that trust in a way that it protects your asset. So,
yeah.
So, see a comment there that says, teach, stop selling houses, generational wealth forever. No one ever homeless. Go get dark money if need be.
What is dark money?
Yeah, I don't know what dark money
is.
Okay, maybe need an explanation on dark money.
What is dark money? But we'll answer the rest of the question.
And one thing I will say too, so when it comes to the grandmother, like she doesn't necessarily have to, she can refinance on her own.
Right.
She can qualify. She doesn't have to bring someone else on the loan. She doesn't want to. Supports her refinance into a regular.
And my question is, have you done that before?
Yes.
Okay. So you're dealing with someone who's done that before.
Yeah.
With taking a reverse mortgage back to another conventional regular loan.
Yeah. Go from a reverse mortgage to another one.
Yeah.
Situation. It makes sense for me. Yes, you can come out of reverse to a regular.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Talk to a professional.
Yeah. And a reverse mortgage is another loan program. It has the criteria of 55 plus.
Yeah, and I've seen, and I'm glad you mentioned that reverse mortgages aren't a scam. They're not a bad thing because I think a lot of times people look at it that way. I think it just depends on your scenario where I've seen people in bad financial strain. And the one value that they have is the home. And that one to not lose it, sometimes a reverse mortgage might be that they need to do to kind of get their feet together, get things together, and they can eventually get back to owning a property again.
No, I also going to say one of the things that reverse mortgages have been helping plus retirees too is that when they're going to fix income, right, and then for maintenance of the house, maintaining the value of that house is very important, right? Because I've seen people the deterioration of the house is so bad that now the house could be condemned, right? So what happens is that's because they're fixed income, a small income to get a loan or refinance. So that's where the reverse mortgage kicks in. Use that to actually bring up, keep the value of the house and maintain. If you have any big capital expenditures like roofing, any type of like updates, anything like that, definitely reverse mortgages are there for that.
Yeah, I just think it's important just about like if you're gonna put somebody in reverse mortgage, teach them what to do with the money that they're building.
Right.
Whenever I talk to somebody about reverse, I start to talk to them like, if you're saving $1,200 a month, that's gonna be $14,000 a year. Like, what are we gonna do with that $14,000?
Right, and on the application, they tell them specifically you can't invest in assets, like stocks and gamble and stuff. But that's just a question. They don't know. I know they do have the counseling, right? Where they have to coach.
I see another comment says, I had a friend whose mom did a reverse mortgage, then she died and couldn't get anything from it.
It just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
If it was a property that had equity in it, then they should have been allowed to do something with that property, sell it or make a decision on what to do with it.
And let's keep in mind too, if it's for spouses. So say the first mortgage, once that spouse, even after marriage, lives after, well, say sorry, if they were married after the one spouse got the first mortgage, if that spouse they're married and that one spouse passes away, once the surviving spouse lives in the property, the bank can't foreclose on the property, right? So it maintains a reverse mortgage, right? So it's not like if one person is the one person's paying and that person's passing away. Once they're married, that spouse can actually live in that property until they actually pass away too, and it still maintains a reverse mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got clarification. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I was saying, but that's why it's important if you do this to make sure that everybody that might potentially your children,
Yeah.
anyone that might potentially be in line to take on that property, they can do counseling.
Yeah.
So everybody can't do it unless you do counseling. Understand? You're never getting counseling done first, so you're going to get taught how it works and what to do now and also in the future.
Yeah.
But you can have anybody that might be involved in what's going to happen with that property online
Right.
involved in it as well in their life.
Exactly.
It's important.
So we got clarification on what dark money is. It's a group of folks that get together and have a pool of millionaires. I need that. Want to help and help in the loan start and get the money and keep the property and not have to pay it and outlive this stuff out.
No, I'm talking about mob money or something. Break your legs if you know what I'm saying?
People like that definitely need to start connecting with them.
Now,
Finding out how legit it is.
yeah, I think that's weird.
Well, you know, you start this dark money thing. I might be one of the first people. And there was another question that was brought to this too before we began too, which is about quick claim deed.
Okay,
You remember the question?
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, I think the question was about quick claim deeds is how do you get somebody to actually the title, put somebody on the title.
They want to put their kids
on the title.
Right. Make sure they don't.
Yeah. So there's many ways that you can actually put somebody on title. Different forms of it too. One of the most common is tenants in common, where you can put somebody on title. Now, if you already bought the property, and that's one of the easiest ways to protect, make sure that if anything should happen, somebody else is on the property, which just to me, especially with the kids or a spouse or somebody who was actually, because I've seen it happen where. I mean, I'm not saying like I'll say spouses, like living spouses, not married, but they've lived in, the spouse has invested a lot in the property, and that person passes away, so he owns the property, and the spouse gets pretty much nothing, right? Because number one, they were married, but that spouse is actually was part of investing in a lot of property and can't prove. But the thing is that spouse now has to prove that he was investing in the property, and that's the tough part. If it's over years and years and years, it's tough to actually get that done. So a lot of times I would say always, quick claim deed is the easiest way and the fastest way to do it. You can put either that's tenants in common or in California when you're married to people. If you're married after if you bought a property, it goes as community property, right? So so you talk with what I would say, talk with the title officer or the attorney, or you can come to us for consultation. We'll determine what is the best way to actually deem that title, to write up that title, so that when you actually put that person in the title, whatever happens after death of one person, it's easy to actually just transfer the property over, right? You can even do percentage, right? So it's a certain percentage of, say, you have 3 people. You want somebody having 50, the other have 20, and one person has 30. You can put that all in the title also. So there's many ways you can actually write up the title and actually reflect what your desire is in terms of making sure that somebody, your heirs or people who inherit the property is on title to just safeguard.
Now, let me ask something. So also need to make sure is that if you're thinking about having someone to title, you need to know that you're going to do that before you do the loan, because some loans you can't have people to title. They'll call their loan do it immediately.
Right.
Especially like down payment assistance programs, stuff like that. Certain type of government loans, can't change what do immediately, but you understand what your goal of and you're thinking about adding someone on title, make sure that you check the type of loan that you're doing and it's allowed. Because I promise you, they're on it. I had a client who, changed it, and I got a call like, hey, this person tried to ask somebody to tell them to take them off, it was gonna be a problem, and he had to take them off like within a couple of days. Like it was that serious. So they don't play; they're on it. They check.
Right.
It. So
you
need to understand ahead of time the type of loan that you're currently in, or the loan that you're about to do. And if you want to have people that's going to go on the title, make sure you can do it before you do that loan, or get the type of loan where you can have down the line first. So that's something to pay attention.
And that's where you consult the mortgage, the loan officer, the mortgage consultant too about that. The other thing I would always advise people, if you're going to do that, make sure at least that you have the properties actually about like maybe free and clear, close to free and clear at least, right? Because at the end of the day, the bank is going to want to make sure that their property don't have a clouded title when it comes to getting their money back. That's the main thing. The bank wants their money back if anything should happen, right? So they don't want to have a clouded title or crime where it's hard for them to get that money back if the asset actually comes due, right? So
and the way they can maybe get around that, so if they want to add somebody title, is if you're going to bring that personal, you could maybe refinance it to another loan. You don't have to take cash out. You could do what's called a rate term refinance, where you simply change the terms of the loan.
Right.
Now you only do it if it makes sense. So you're not going to take a higher rate just to add somebody title. But if the rates are in a position where it makes sense for you lower rate, or maybe you do need cash out, you can do it, and that can help you, make your situation better. You can do that and then do the top loan where you can add them to the title for that new loan. So that would be a way to get around it if you really just want to add some title, do a refinance it, add them to the loan and the title that way.
And who they need to call if they need to do that?
You can call me.
You can call me.
You can call anyone that you have.
Attorney, or a real estate attorney, or title rep will actually be able to help you with that.
So things are doable. Yes. Things don't have to last forever. Once you
it's flexible.
Once you sign on to reverse mortgage, once you get a loan or purchase a property and it's just you on it, things don't have to stay that way forever. Things can be changed. However, definitely talk to an expert so they can guide you. Don't be like that gentleman Dion was talking about, saying he don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to do this anyway. And then you find yourself in a I didn't told you so type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing I want to say that I always tell every person who's looking at add somebody to title, especially if they're spouses, is always include right of survivorship, because you can put it in a joint tenancy or tenancy in common, but if you don't put right of survivorship, it's still up in the air of when that person passes away, what's going to happen.
So that trust is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because that basically, would you say that trumps? Not trumps, but when someone passes away, they have to follow the trust.
Right. This trust is automatically starts being executed. Right. So
in overall, it may cost a little bit of money up front, but it will save your family a big headache.
Yeah. Because the only option you have a trust, if you don't have a trust, is probate, and that's where it goes to court, right? And you have limited authority and full authority, which means that it depends upon whether or not the parties that involve agree, right? So that's the only other option if you don't have a trust. It goes straight to probate.
And if you're a current homeowner and you do not have a trust, that's okay. You can still put your property in a trust. Just go to your loan officer again to make sure they can help you with that process.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you put the property in the trust, you don't have to add the person to the deed. If you put it in the trust, that they will be the next owner.
Yeah. You don't, but it's recommended you do, right?
Okay.
Just to protect this, have it locked safe, because somebody can contest the trust, right? So say it's not a family member, because I've seen people who are caretakers, or even if you want to deed it to somebody like a nonprofit church, you can put it in the trust, but at the same time too, somebody can contest it because they're family members, right? So to avoid any type of contestation, you want to actually put it on the title, and then also put it in the trust also.
Yeah, the transition is much more smoother.
Yeah, way smoother. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost 30 minutes in, and
important topics.
is very important topics because if you make the right decisions when it comes to your property, then that gives you what we're trying to talk about is building generational wealth.
Right.
If you're not even there yet, you're not even to the point where you got to think about where someone was at to get a reverse mortgage,
Right.
which means they purchased that property a long time ago. They
Right.
purchased when they could,
Right.
not when let me test the market
Right.
rate for interest rates to do
Wow.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not investing in a property; you are buying a place to live.
Because that's a good topic because to segue into like our topic of what we're discussing, real home ownership in 2026. Because one of the things that I think we're going to see because of this year is that this year we have had across the United States, it's been the highest amount of homes that are free and clear ever. So most people own their homes outright, free and clear. Right, so that's one of the things.
Need some of that dark money. You do
right. So forever, it's the first time in the United States we have the highest amount of homes that are now free and clear. And so that means two things: is that people are holding on to their homes.
Yeah.
Right. They're actually holding on to their homes. Also, it means that those homes are now being freed up. So it's causing like the inventory on these properties, which I would say a lot of them come, maybe you look at more baby boomers that hold on to their homes. So they're not downsizing, right? That means at the end of the day, that's some of the inventory that people have been talking about. But it also raises the question that these are the consumers right now who need to be talking to estate plan attorneys. That's why reverse mortgages, the topic of reverse mortgages is so important now. Right. I think that's a great topic because, as I said, you'll find that any home that's free and clear now qualifies, and the person is 55 plus, they can qualify for a reverse mortgage easily now. So that just having that topic as one of the top topics going into 2026 is going to be important.
And I like what Francine said: do it now while you're on this side. Yeah. Let fight when you're watching the kingdom. Yeah, I agree. And also get that life insurance. Go where you start. Yeah.
Right.
Not only life insurance, mortgage insurance too. Get insurance where you can cover your house if something happened to your spouse, where you can get the house paid off. So that's an important insurance that we need to start teaching people how to get as well when they become homeowners. So that's
because if you never get a divorce and you own a home, eventually it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
No, it's just more things we need to start teaching people how to do to set ourselves up to get wealth, but also protect that wealth. So
you know what this sounds like?
Start talking about all those different things.
A home ownership workshop. We need to do another home owner workshop.
There you go.
Home ownership workshop.
We can start doing them regularly.
Yeah. So 2026 is coming. What should people be looking out to start the process of home ownership, you guys? Where can they start? They don't know where to start. Where can they start today?
So when they say where can they start?
What's the first thing? They have the idea, I want to own a home, I just don't know what to do. I need to save up 20%, which means I need to save $100,000. I got about $7,000-8,000.
No, I mean, I always say this: the first thing you need to do is sit down with either a mortgage professional, or if you have some type of counseling, like the HUD, different type of counseling agencies that might give you an idea of what you need to do to start the process of becoming a homeowner. Me personally, I'm a lender, so I'm gonna tell you, talk to us first. We're the ones that's going to help you get the money. We're the ones that, we're gonna look at your credit, we're gonna look at your overall situation, your assets, and we're gonna find out what you do to be in a position where you can't qualify for a home. And if you're not able to do it, we're going to teach you what you need to do to get there. So we'll go over your credit. There's things that you fix your credit. We're going to teach you how to do that. If they're experienced enough, they'll be able to teach you what you need to do and/or connection to the right company. They'll be able to help you get your credit up. If you need to save funds to have money for a down payment, they're either going to teach you how much you need based on your situation, or go over potential programs that you might qualify for that can help you with that, like down payment assistance or first-time home loan programs. There's a lot of great programs, like for instance, one I want to talk about for a second is the Dream Fraud program.
Right.
That's a program that they're rolling back out now. The funds are going to be available early next year, 2026. So that's a loan where you get up to 20% that can go towards down payment and closing costs up to $150,000.
Right.
dollars. So if you meet the requirements and you set the loan properly, you can buy a house. 17 to 16, 70%
You have
to
to
a
be a
down
first
payment.
time home buyer.
Yes, you have to be the first time home buyer. There's criteria that come with it, but that's
Which means
where
you haven't owned.
the first generations. There's a lot of different guidelines that go along with that program. You know, we don't have time to go over that, but if somebody want to find out how you can continue to work with, and they're certified to be able to do the loan to catch your face up, so that way you can would take you to be able to become a homeowner, because it's a big program. There's someone that I want to bring this up that was on the list last go round, and you didn't get picked. You need to go and check your emails and see, because I had two people. There's some people that, because the new rounds coming out, they're going back to the people who were on the list that didn't get picked first time, and they're giving them first deal. So I got two people that got approved to be able to do it that didn't get approved this round. They got first deal, so they're buying houses right now. That program. So make sure you go check your emails and couch your face, see if you got any emails saying that you got selected to do it now, even though you didn't get the first round.
Yeah.
So that's important to go check. But stuff like that, programs like that. Talk to them, let them go through your situation, go over the whole overall profile, teach you what you do to become one. Everybody is free. You know, so you have nothing to lose, but you have so much to give. I said, so much. Simply sit down and your whole situation and show you what you do and put you on the path.
On the book, I was 22. I'm a homeowner in the next 3 years. I didn't know where to start. What I started doing, I just started open houses.
There you go.
And looking at, and one guy said, "Are you getting pre-approved?" I said, "No." He's like, "How you gonna look for houses?" I said, "You know what? Leave it alone. I ain't coming to you." but I mean, I said it to say, start moving in a way as if you're going to purchase a home.
Absolutely.
Don't take yourself out of it, regardless of where you're at this point in time in life.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote that, I didn't have a job. I didn't even have a car.
Right.
I remember early 20s, my mom was coming to pick me up, and I was thinking, like, man, I need to get out of this. And less than 2 years, I was buying a house.
Nice.
So I said it to say, you have to have faith. God gave people the spirit of abundance.
Right.
And the moment you think you can't own a home is you're immediately working in a deficit, and you're telling God,
right.
I'm going to preach to y'all today.
Yeah, it's so true. It's the manifestation thing. I tell every client, every first time buyer, I always tell them, you got to start, every big thing starts in your mind. So if anything else created on earth, just keep in mind, start up here in your mind. So you got to start thinking in terms of what does your home look like? You got to be thinking about that consistently. One of the big questions I ask all my clients is, without any barriers, without any money, tell me, close your eyes if you have to, and tell me what your home, your dream home looks like, right? Because now you start planting that seed in their minds where, I can see myself, because that's where it has to start. You have to be able to see yourself and you will start making those steps. Because a lot of people will do all the stuff around home ownership, try to start doing everything, but in their mind is still looking out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of that now first and stop moving forward. Now, one of the things that I want to point out for 2026 in terms of what we see is this tight inventory under real estate. Inventory is still a little bit tight, as we can see. There is, especially in San Diego County. I think in September, I think the average amount of homes that was sold was 60,000, around 16,000 homes that closed in the night. And just to give you a comparison, over 18,000 agents, sales agents in San Diego County. So when you have 1,600, that's less than 1%, right?
You said 1,600.
Yes.
Oh, you said
16,000. No, right? So
I'll say
that's September. Right. So one of the things is that inventory is high. I'm seeing that in the market. I would tell a lot of people are talking about exiting, not following through on their homeownership dreams in 2026. A lot of people are thinking, oh, the dream of homeownership is dead. That's a big topic right now because everything is unaffordable right now. Every single thing, prices are going up, right? But that's California Association of Realtors are expecting the median price home to be $905,000 in California.
Yeah, listen to this.
That's close to $1 million.
I was helping someone out the other day, and then people look at it,
Mhm.
the rent. And I walked into the apartment, and it was, tiny homes.
Right,
It was almost like that.
right,
And I was like, how can you even put a bed or a couch? Like, how do you even fit this in here?
right,
And the rent was over $2,000 a month,
right, right,
which I don't know. Mental furniture, 800, 900,
right.
What year is this again?
Yeah.
but that's the thing. That's the thing.
To live in San Diego,
Right,
it's expensive
it is.
compared to most other cities.
Right. And that's where we things like the Dream Home program dumping. We're going to see a lot of that coming in 2026. I think rates are going to be a big topic. There's going to be a lot of pressure on rates to actually come down because we have, I think it's in May or March. I think Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, he's supposed to be retired. Right. So his term is up. So there's going to be a lot of pressure right now, especially with what's happening in the economy for
So you could fully proof the president to get the interest rate.
All right. I wish.
One thing I'm gonna hit on rate. Two things. I want to go back real quick because one of the things I want to hit on too, when it comes to the first steps, is especially within our community, we got to put our pride to the side.
Right.
A lot of times we don't want to work with lenders or anyone that looks like us,
Right.
or anyone. We got to
Right.
put our pride to the side.
Absolutely.
We get so many people that don't work with people that look like us.
Right.
They think, oh man, we don't want people in our business. Man, I want them to know my business.
Right.
Or the other thing too is they have all these myths and ideas of what it's going to take for them to become a homeowner. Oh man, I got the student loan. So guess what? We're looking to qualify for a house. We don't care about that balance of your student loans. We look at the payments.
But don't you got a confidentiality that you have to do when you help a client?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we
Right.
no matter what the situation is. You know what I mean? So once we start talking to you, your information is completely private, and we have to keep it on.
Right.
It has to be locked up. So you don't have to worry about your information. These companies most of them are all multi-billion-dollar companies.
Right.
And I would say, and I know
lose their license.
you've done it, I know you've done it. I was opportunity looking at their finances, and we are friends, and those mutual friends never knew that I even did that with them
Right.
unless they said so.
Right.
So I kept it mum, and people like Dion keep it mum. He could be helping somebody right next to you, you won't even know. He has to keep it confidential. So yeah, don't put your pride to the side because
Don't assume anything.
Right.
don't assume.
I tell
Yeah.
don't assume anything. Don't think because there's programs for people with lower FICO scores. There's programs for people with not that much money out of pocket at all. There's programs for people who have high, student loan balances. You can teach you how to, an income you do have, something with a higher payment. So there's ways we can teach you. You just have to call it first and give us the opportunity to guide you, teach you what you can do to become a homeowner.
So does BIPOC, do we get to bite the apple first? Your down payment assistance program?
They have programs like that, but to be honest with you, there's some that are those. Like they're like those shiny things they dangle in front of you, but it's still going to be the best program for you. So there's programs like that we'll look at and see if that makes sense. If it's not the best one for you, I'm going to teach you the different options that you have, and make sure you do what's best for you.
And that's the key. You may see a loan program, so you know what, that may fit me. And you sit down with the loan officer and realize there's a better loan program for me.
Right.
And that's okay. Don't be attached to that
Right.
particular program you came into.
Right. Right.
People be like, "Who that program?" I don't know about one. Okay.
Right.
Just buy the water. I can't make you drink it. Right now, this might be the way you want to go. You sure you want to do it?
So Clinton Dion, let me ask you guys this. What you guys experience helping people become homeowners? What's the biggest emotional or lifestyle benefit people talk about once they buy their first home?
Let's buy a first home. I mean, there's so many things that happen in terms of buying. And one of the things we gotta understand is transition from having be paying rent to actually owning, right, or paying a mortgage. That's the transition. Now, one of the things that people have to get accustomed to, I've always seen is that you only have two options when it comes to purchasing a home. Just keep in mind, a home is a necessity. It's food, clothing, and shelter. An economic necessity is shelter. You have two options. One is to rent it, or you can own it, right? And that's the unfortunate part about it, right? Or you can be home free, right? Where you don't have a home or shelter, right? But at the same time, so you need shelter. So the thing is that a lot of people fall into the rental category. They say like 60% of the population is to rent, right? The 40%, and now they to have to transition over to that is big. I think it's the barrier of a lot of how to put it, narratives that they have that they fall into because pretty much, for instance, San Diego right now rent is almost the same as a mortgage, maybe about $500 difference, right? So that extra $500 can now help you purchase a home, but you have to understand the benefits that come with it. Now, especially with millennials, right? They are big on renting. The majority of all the developments happening in California right now are rentals, right? All these construction that you see all over the place is apartment rentals because they see that there's a huge demand for that, right? Now, there's pros and cons to renting, and then there's pros and cons to buying. But the pros to buying will always outweigh the pros to renting. Why? Is because you have number one, the generational wealth, right? Now, everybody talks about generational wealth, right? Factor. Yes, that is great. Now, not only do you have that, so you have the tax savings factor,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, tax savings in terms of
Tax
ownership, right? Then on top of that, you have the inadvertent or the inadvertent of say the savings. You're saving inadvertently because keep in mind, I'll tell everybody when you're paying rent, everybody's focused on, oh, the rates are high right now. I want to wait. I want to wait till the rates to come down, right?
Rate are people paying on rent?
100%. If you really look at it, you're paying 100% rate on rent, while you're paying the average market rate on a mortgage, right? And then also you are benefiting from the increasing. Not only is you benefit from the increasing value, which is going to help with your savings, you also benefit from paying down your principal.
Okay, for someone who's
Right.
brand new to
Right.
this, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Purchase a home.
Hmm.
You said you benefit from increase in value.
Right.
What does that mean?
Equity. And equity basically is the difference between your principal or the amount that you owe, right, minus the value.
Which you can do what with?
Which you can invest, you can pay bills, you can buy another home, you can actually start a business, and that's the advantage. Where that's the one big advantage that we'll see that has created generational wealth and the wealth gap, right? So that's contributed wildly to the wealth gap that's so prevalent.
Yeah, that first one is always the hardest one for most people. Once you get that becomes the bridge to you
Right.
creating wealth for your family.
Right.
If you do it the right way.
Right.
most people, if you have someone you work with, they teach you how to manage your wealth the right way.
Right.
You know, what to do with that equity that you get. It doesn't mean you have to sell the house. You can
Right.
cash out and do
Exactly.
investments. You can do different things with it. So having the experience and the knowledge is power. You have the knowledge on how to utilize your asset, utilize your home, and manage it the right way.
Mhm.
That's what we start with families at the end
Right.
of the day.
So and this is where I thought we would start somewhere, right? I mean, right now, homeownership is almost like a dream for a lot of people. It's almost out of reach for a lot of people, but start somewhere because the home that you want is not a home that you might get, right?
Right.
I mean, in your mind, everybody who moves to San Diego is like, oh, I'm gonna live next to the beach, right? That's what we live here for, right? I live at least 2 or 3 miles. They call me on the phone, like, hey, how close can I get to the beach, right? Or how can I close to get to the coast so I have a nice view? Those views was close to $1 million. If you have any view, it doesn't matter where in California, you need at least between 500 to $1 million, right? So So one of the things is this: there right these real estate in California, just like because you're competing with the big investors, now, right? Because keep in mind, your money that you want to buy a home to live in is not competing with big investors. Why? Is because of something called leverage.
Now, you guys' history has value. Someone bought a home. Has their value has their value increased in their home if they bought in and did nothing now? Then it's value gone up on homes from.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, people did was house price.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I would choose
Right.
be the person in the house from that trend
Yeah,
over
yeah.
time. There's always peaks and valleys overall, so over time. So you want to be someone who owns a house, and the values are increasing.
Right. And
So
and
don't do that. I'll tell you.
and
Some of the
that
buys.
and just to give you an example, I did that back in 2000 when we were in the pandemic, right? So I put a search in California MLS for all the homes in the whole of California that were 100,000, right? 100,000, $100,000. The average home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, right? There was over like maybe 100. Today there's zero.
Mm.
Zero homes in California for $100,000, and we're talking about from the pandemic 2000 to 2025, right? So in 5 years' time, all this, I mean, there's none. If you put in a search, and I'll tell you, go ahead, put in a search for $100,000 homes for $100,000 in California. I remember that the majority of homes were in Clear Lake, this place called Clear Lake, close to Sacramento. Yeah, and then there was like Palm Springs, and then Descanso, and then there's a few in Fresno, right? There's zero. So that's to tell you where we got in California. You can't buy a parking spot in California. Right. Right.
You guys have you guys have any and you know, I would say this too, if you own a property, you can take advantage of the lack of properties that come available by renting a room or a space out and charging a nice amount if you need some extra money. Like you can do that, or building an ADU and charging market rent or maybe higher. So I mean,
We need to also talk about how people can start purchasing homes with family members,
right?
And friends and things like that. Like that's where we come to because these prices are so high. Because the average house is $900,000.
Right.
You got to make a lot of money to be able to qualify for that.
Yep.
Guess what? I literally just did a loan recently where, in fact,
yes,
right. So me and Clinton just did the daughter, the mom, and the grandparents all in one
together. Yes,
buying
a house together.
And I applaud that. I love that because I'm like, that's where the West comes from. All of them can all share in one payment and still stack their money. And eventually, maybe they can go buy a house for the granddaughter and the mother. Yeah, I was gonna say the top one you might do 500K. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. That's
what they don't talk about is the rental space fee, or you have to pay space rent,
right?
Which is like
but now
$1,000 a month.
I think there's a law that's trying to be passed because of that, because homes are now getting most affordable homes are manufactured homes. There's a law that they're trying to push right now where the banks can now short this is the insurance part of that most banks don't actually want to actually. So they're trying to make sure that the bank can ensure that these homes can be insured fully by the banks, and now they'll be able to finance most banks be able to finance these homes.
Well, there's what you can. I have financing as well too. So for people who don't make that much money, look at it. You can buy this type of house with little as 5% down.
Oh, okay.
Now, so there's financing for the high credit score can be like 660. So there's opportunities where you can buy properties.
Yeah.
Now as well too. It was hard to finance them, but
$39,000.
Right. In a manufactured home, it's a home.
Right. They have something in it too.
Okay.
But like I said,
Right.
there's programs for that as well.
Right.
Barry. So there's programs like that, and that, if that's the type of house
16,000.
Nah, something's wrong with that. 16,000. No, something's wrong with that one. That's a typo.
It says discovery or purification escape.
square feet.
Nah,
I mean,
Yeah, I read that
Sunlight, directly on top of the house.
But yeah, but
you don't know it.
I mean, yes, it's doable, but at the same time too, you have to be very flexible.
Yeah, that's why I like. We have to look at that. That's why we need to get investment to buy a house.
There you go.
Right.
So that's what we need.
Don't
to
take
start
that
doing.
idea.
Join in. Big. Let's go.
I mean, and this is just to say that, although opportunities don't look like it's there for you, don't let your dream die down because of what you think can happen.
Right.
So, I mean, you just gave a success story about a family purchasing a home. You guys have a success story about someone, and it could be them, that didn't think they could buy a home, came to you guys, and now they're a homeowner. Any stories?
I've been doing almost 20 years.
Yeah, man. We just got one. Yeah. So, well, I mean, I think that first time home buyer is like that. That's the status quo or the description of most first time home buyers is always in their minds. Oh, well, I always tell everybody is I'm not going to ask all my first time home buyers, what's the biggest obstacle trying to purchase? It's not that they didn't believe in buy it. It's just that they didn't think they deserve it, right? At the same time, too, it's kind of like you have to be able. That's why you have to see yourself in that home first. And that's the thing. It's like there's all this doubt in your mind because it is going to become comfortable. It's a new thing you're doing. But every time I work at home, I can see that the frustration where they run because I mean, especially in a category of say the first time home buyer market, that's a tough market to be in. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a very tough market to be in because that's where the majority of the first time. So if you see something that's priced very well and you don't make a move in it, maybe 100 people that are looking at that home, right? Then they go very fast. So if you see something that's priced at below market, financeable, everything's good to go, that home is going to just be a bidding war a lot of times on that home, right? So that's because the market for first-time home buyers is the biggest market because that's where everybody falls in that. Now it's possible, right? We can find that home for you. You just have to kind of think outside the box. Maybe I'll buy it further out, right? Maybe I buy something like a fixer, right? Then maybe fix that home up over time, and then sell it and move into my street, right?
And there's loans for that too,
right. Or maybe I can buy it, maybe a little because I mean I have to go outside of San Diego County too. And I'm not picturing areas. You can go outside of San Diego County and find a lot more brand new, right? With a single family residences attached for under 900, under 800, right? Hemet is one of those places. Marietta is one of those places. So when you're at Riverside, one's going to say, hey, it's still catching up. That's all homeownership is. That's all homeownership is.
16 years ago, they have the benefit of it now.
Exactly.
To gain wealth, depending on the situation, what's going on in the market.
Right.
And the thing about it, they had to live somewhere. I remember I did an open house one time, and East Lake, I randomly knew the couple that lived across the street, and the price of the property I think was like they purchased it about 6 years earlier for like 400 and something thousand. And I remember they said, "Oh my gosh, this is so much. This is like, we can afford it, but goodness, a lot of money." And I think back, it's like, well, shoot, that's the decision I made in my life.
Right. Yeah. I think the areas right now where there was ones where low income, right? Where it was considered low income, and I'll point out one Park. When I first moved to San Diego, North Park was considered that area where if you want affordable living in Central California with a good transit system district, North Park was that place. houses, right?
We have seen it a long time ago.
Yeah, since 98. 98. So I mean, so looking at No Park was one was also one of the most walkable, had the best walk scores other than downtown in San Diego. Now today, you cannot find a home in No Park under $1 million, right? Today, right? So these are the things that you always got to look at. The neighborhoods are changing system, but now No Park is now becoming one of those areas that are new for development. 12-story buildings for development, right? See all this development in No Park is now it's known as the art district in California, in San Diego. So people come from Oceanside to go around No Park, right? It's attracting that type of business, attracting. So when you look at areas that change, you want to make that investment early, right? Don't wait because the price ain't waiting on you.
Yeah.
Right. The market is not waiting on you. I tell people I can't control the market. That's one of the things that I have to stress before. I can't control the market.
So you mentioned Alexandria County. What about for those families who may be looking at moving up? I'm talking about maybe a different state. What do you recommend? That's a good thing to do.
Absolutely. If it's something that you want, like you don't have to be in one. I mean, our minds and areas that we've been told makes us very immobile, right? Kind of like we get caught up in the stagnation, information stagnation, right? So I say, look, once you understand it's the numbers, that you have to look at the numbers in terms of ownership. Like if you have the ability to move out of California, right? And I'm not pitching this, but if you have the ability to not even count San Diego County, right? Because some people who say I was going to move to Arizona and buy, can still afford in California. There's still some affordable places in California. Just keep that in mind, right? That are homes for under 500, right? It's just that when you look at the average, right, and the density of homes in certain places like LA, San Diego, San Francisco, they have the majority of homes. Yes, the average is going to be a little bit higher. But if you go east, and I tell people this, East California is a very big state. Get that. We can go all the way out to the border of Colorado. So all those places where we not populated, and it's bigger, right? So you can buy a home for less than $500 if you go east. You don't have to go across the so you can go down Central, right?
Yeah.
And still you can be in California, right? But you don't have to go out of the state. Now that's out of state is something you want to look at. Absolutely.
And to get to San Diego from I'm back to El Centro, because to get to San Diego from El Centro is like less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours.
Like Dion, you be here for
right. So we forget. I mean, that's the thing we forget. That leads me to one of the things that I think we've been talking about, especially with a lot of legislators in California, is that we are one of those. We're the fifth largest economy in the world.
You know what? I just realized we're talking so much. I didn't
Oh,
realize.
wow. Yeah, but real quick, we're the fifth largest. So we really need to push innovation here in terms of a transit system going out. Right? If we can open up that area, I think that will solve a lot of our inventory problem.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Thank you, Dion.
You're welcome.
Clinton,
Yes.
President Clinton.
Thank you.
so much.
Don't forget to vote, yo.
Yeah. Don't forget. We'll close at 8:00. So, yeah. All right. We'll see you guys same time, same place in a couple weeks. Until then, peace. We out.
Peace.
Yeah, listening. Appreciate y'all. Hit us up if y'all got any questions, any type of financing, what it takes to become a homeowner, what you need to do, those first steps. That's how we're here for you guys. Talk from there.
Those are some good questions.
Yeah.
And when we purchased our property, the value went down a lot. Gosh, we should have waited a year. Like you guys say,